Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Kengan Omega chapter 152. Before I get into this week's chapter, as always, if you haven't already, you should definitely be sure to subscribe. We just recently hit our goal of hitting 5,000 subscribers, so we're going to be doing the 24-hour live stream to celebrate on Saturday. You should definitely be sure to tune in if you're interested in that. In addition to that, I'd like to try and hit 100 likes on this video, so let's see if we can shoot for that. With that out of the way, let's get right into this week's review. There are three important things to go over from this week's chapter: Jia Ji, Yan's plan, and Koga's training. First thing is with Jia Ji. We get some very interesting insight from Yan, who we find out is Jia's brother. Well, I guess it should be Ji, because it's Jia Yan and Jia Ji. But whatever, I've been calling Jia Ji just Jia for like a year now, and I don't plan on changing that, so you know. According to Yan, Jia is a dragon who should have been born a rat. What does that mean exactly? Well, as far as I can tell, and as far as some other people I've heard from have been able to tell, that pretty much means that Jia is someone who has immense potential, someone who could be extremely powerful. He even apparently poses a threat to Yan's direct subordinates, who Yan sends to, watch him and kill him if they need to. According to Shen, there is a chance that Jia could kill those guys. So what I think the case is that Jia could have become very powerful. He was a person with a lot of potential, but it's squandered by his personality. He's a very weak-willed coward. He's kind of a bitch. And because of that, he's never been able to, and probably will never be able to, achieve his true potential, because he just doesn't have the personality for it. It's kind of an interesting premise there for a character. Probably maybe would have been a bit nicer to have gotten it earlier, but I suppose this goes a bit of a ways to explain how the fuck he manages to keep surviving all of the ridiculous shit that happens to him. That seems to be the reason. And who knows, maybe this is setting up Jia awakening Ultra Instinct or something in the future, I don't know. He realizes his power as a... Oh god, no! He's going to be the rival to Koga, the greatest martial arts prodigy of our generation. Yeah, that's what it is. Fuck. Next thing, Yan's plan. Yan and Shen are talking, which is cool, by the way. They seem to have a very friendly relationship. Oh, I guess we're going to have like a half point to talk about, which is more so theorizing. I mean, this is all kind of theorizing, but, whatever. Yan and Shen are talking, and Yan says that at this point, the Worm has become the most evil organization in the world. Pretty much everyone is uniting against it. So at this point, they could pretty much let it be destroyed. They could just make the Worm disappear at this point. Partially for Shen's sake. It's not really clear why. Apparently, their goal, it seemed, perhaps, like all of the stuff they've been doing, terrorism, the angering of the United States, like that was perhaps a building up to some big thing happening, but no, apparently it has just all been to get the attention of people. And now that they have their attention, the Worm doesn't need to be around anymore. They've planted the seed, the idea of the Worm within the mind of the world. And now that they've done that, they don't really need the organization anymore. We don't know why this is. That seems to have been the goal, was to make everyone focus on the Worm and then go and do something else. I don't know. We don't know what that is yet. It seems to have something to do with Shen, something with the connector. I'm not sure what it could be at this point. Probably, more stuff with the cyber brain and creating the ultimate warrior and all that sort of stuff. Speaking of Shen, his relationship with Yan is interesting because Yan almost seems to be subservient to him. Shen almost kind of bosses him around a little bit, not like in a very forceful way. He's just like, Yan, could you do this or something? Yan, could you forgive Jia, please? Stuff like that. Which is kind of crazy because Yan is the head of the worm. So, what is the role of Shen? What is the role of the connector? Well, one of the good theories I've heard, I got it in a comment on the reaction, was that he may be called the connector to an extent because he's the one that connects all of the factions, maybe, perhaps. He connects the worm with Tiger Nico and Gilbert, so, you know, those three organizations, or, the Worm, the Wu, or not the Wu, the Westward faction, and Tiger Nico and whatever nonsense he's up to is all connected by Shen. Though the only problem with that is that we haven't seen Shen interact with Gilbert or Tiger Nico yet. It would be really cool to see that. Like, this whole introduction, just them fishing, is really cool. I really like these super casual introductions for villains. If the next time we see Gilbert and Tiger Nico, it's these four guys like getting lunch or something, I would be a big fan of that. I would really like that. But also Nidon said that Ryuki was going to be the connector, so I feel like it more so probably has something to do with some sort of passing down of a torch, some sort of role that he serves that doesn't have to do with those other groups. Because it's possible that if there's supposed to be a successor to whoever the current connector is, that the connector has been a thing for a long time, like predating the Worm's connection to the Westward faction, or, Tiger Nico being born. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out what exactly the connector is connecting. So last thing, Koga. He's doing more training. We see him hanging out a bit with Iemitsu. He's at like an island resort or something. Of course, Koga is also a purgatory fighter now, so he's on relatively good terms with Iemitsu, and he is here to do some more training. Who is he here to train with? None other than Kano Agito, who I was actually just sort of wondering, when are we going to see Agito again, now that we've gotten our second time skip? What's up with Agito? Once I mentioned this in the reaction, can we please get some more insight into his growth as a person? That was one thing that was set up at the end of Ashura, and that we got a little tease of in Omega when he was recruited for the tournament. I was very excited to see more about how he's grown as a person to become more normal, and we just got like nothing on it. Can we please get some more of that now that we're focusing a little bit more on characters having like casual interactions with each other, developing some sort of relatively normal relationships with other people? Can we get a little bit more focus on Agito because of that now? Well, anyway, seems like Koga is training with Agito for the same reasons that he wanted to fight Oma, which is to see how strong the strongest people in the world are, so he has kind of an idea of how far he needs to go, and maybe what he needs to do if he wants to get up to that level. So presumably next chapter is going to be Koga training with Agito, which should be pretty interesting to say the least. But with that, that's all for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Kengan Omega chapter reactions and reviews every week that we get a new chapter. If you enjoyed discussing Kengan Omega with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have linked that down in the description, and since it's the end of the video, I might as well give a shout out to my wonderful patrons. Special thanks to Archbear CJ2K, Neo, Dijon Redden, K-God, Chris Redfield, Rat, Ryzen 4K, Artist, Wave of Manga, Chuck's Feed and Seed, Jake Stereezy, Play Free Labs, Kanichi Kaneda, Strawbones, Neverest, Daniel Powell, Brandon Smith, Alex Latella, Abdullah Al-Ghathi, and Charles C. Highland. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it, and if you too want to get a shout out at some point during videos, early access to episodes of Elden Ring Lore Explained, or access to reactions for One Piece and the Boxer, you can always become a patron as well. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys around, take care.